In every game of Supremacy WW3 you play, the first 30 minutes will massively impact whether you win this game or not. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I open every game, anywhere from going from country selection to the first builds I do, to why research, diplomacy moves I always make on day one. So step by step, with nothing left out, let's get into it. First of all, I'm going to teach you about the different modes real quick in case you don't know. So we've got every season we get around 6 maps, maybe a bit less at times, maybe a bit more. Sometimes there's special events, sometimes there's not. But anyways, you need to understand the map modes. So first of all, if you're a beginner, then I would go for Flashpoint games, because these games have only 30 real players, and normally these 30 players tend to be beginners. If you are looking for an advanced competitive match, then I suggest you go for an Overkill game, which has 100 real players, and the minimum rank is level 8 or 11 for 4x, and you normally see a lot of experienced players playing those games. And also the max collation size is 3 players, so it's a lot more competitive. But if you're just looking for a casual game that's not too easy or not too hard, then I suggest you just go for normal World War 3 standard games. As for the 4x or 1x, the 4x will make the game a lot faster, so you've got more time on your hands. Then I would pick a 4x, and if you don't, just pick a 1x. The Battleground USA, it's for beginners. If you're going Flashpoint, Battleground USA can also be another option for you. And if you're bored of World War 3 but still don't want to make the game too competitive by playing Overkill, you can also play the new mode On the Road, which is basically the same, but it just has a different resource mechanic, kind of, where you can trade things for contraband items. But anyways, once you choose the map that fits you, I would first look at the number of players. If you're looking to play a very strong nation such as Germany, Russia, United States, the UK, then it's going to be a lot harder to get that country if there's lots of players in the game. So if you want to pick one of these nations, you want to look for players that have 0 to 10 players right in the lobby. The way to do this is just to wait for new servers to open, so just go to quick join and go to new matches to refresh. You can do the same thing on mobile and it'll work perfectly fine, and just do that until a game comes up with the map you like. So anyways, this game came up a couple minutes ago before recording this, so I joined it, and since I wanted to select France, I looked for this game with low players and I was able to get it. And then once I joined this game, I sent the code to some people on Discord. You guys can join the Discord down below if you want, but yeah, some people wanted to play, so I sent them the code and they are able to join in the match as a different nation. So if you want to play with your friends or anything, just send them this code. As soon as I start the game, I look into the number of cities I have and my geography. So here I've got 7 cities as France. I've got 3 coastal cities and I'm in 2 oceans. That means that Navy is going to be very important for me. So I'm going to keep in mind that. And also, since I'm playing France and I'm playing the Western Doctrine, so if you're playing Europe, I usually recommend to do this, mostly because this doctrine supports it, because you can research strike fighters on day 1. If you're playing other nations outside of Europe, you can normally not research strike fighters until day 3. So that's why I'm going to go for that build. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to do in Paris is build an arms industry, and then now that I have a level 1 airbase and I'm researching air superiority fighters, I can build these planes as soon as they get built. And also I'm going to queue a level 2 airbase. To queue you do need Security Council. It's quite cheap though, I think it's like $10. If you guys are going to buy it though and you want to support the channel, then I suggest you use code CWR in the online shop. And also if you buy it in the online website, you can get it for a lot cheaper than if you buy it on the app. To keep going, after I have the city, I'm going to pick another city to make my airbase, because I want to have 2 airbase cities and 2 naval cities. I normally like to have 2 airbase cities to build air superiority fighters in one city and then strike fighters in the other one. But anyways, I need to choose the city carefully because my navy massively depends on it. So I think I'm going to choose Marseille, mostly because I don't have much airport near this way. I mean airspace. So for example, if I'm in Paris, my planes can go to London, they can go to Germany, but in Marseille they can't really go to Spain. Whereas if I build an airport here, that will enable it, and that way I don't have to waste I'm building an airfield here. So I'm going to just go ahead and build an arms industry there with an airbase level 1. And now when this base gets to level 2, I can produce strike fighters. When this base gets to level 1, I can produce air superiority fighters, and then with that I'll have complete air control. After having your air bases done, or your air control, then it's time to move on into other types of units. Also a note, if you do start with less cities, then you might just want to have 1 air base. If you're starting, for example, 5 cities, then yeah, just have 1 city, as you won't even have enough resources to build 2 air bases in 2 different cities. Now I'm going to choose my naval base to be Nantes. The reason for this is firstly because I produce more components than supplies, so that's why I'll choose Nantes over Bordeaux, sorry. And secondly, because Marseille I'm already built building an air base there. So you don't want to mix, you don't want to have a city to have like different kind of builds. If that makes sense, you just want to like have one city focusing on one kind of thing. So, you know, I've got Paris focusing on Air Force, Marseille focusing on Air Force. And I'm not building Calais because I want to be, you know, close to defending Marseille, well, closer, as it's closer to go from Bordeaux to Marseille around the sea than it is to go from Calais to Marseille around the sea. So that's why I'm building it there. So to do this, I'm just going to build an arms industry. As for my naval unit strategy, we're going to start producing patrol boats here, and then we're going to gradually level up this naval base throughout the game to level 4. We want to build cruisers, and also I'm going to build my naval elite officer on Iron-Tide Wolf, which is an extremely overpowered pay-to-win unit, and I'll be building it there as soon as I can, and same with my elite submarine unit as soon as I get the chance. And also, I forgot to mention that at the start of the game, when you build arms industries in Bordeaux in your naval city, you want to spam patrol boats. Well, not as many. You just want to spam in Nantes, in Calais, and Marseille, and Bordeaux. The reason for this is because they're naval cities, yeah? So I'm just going to build one here, build one here, build one here, and build one here, and then just have them in my coast. So if, you know, someone tries to attack me by sea, then those units will get caught. Oh, so we can see UK is probably going to attack me. He's got his plane patrolling here. Either he's scared of me attacking him. I mean, you can tell by all his combat outposts in every single province. I do not suggest you do this, as it wastes a lot of resources. But anyways, Bordeaux is now my naval city, Paris my air city, Marseille my air city. Now I want to leave the rest of the cities for ground. When I'm playing 7 cities or more, I usually like to have 4 ground cities. So what I'm going to do first is start by building army bases in every single one of these cities. Keep in mind, if you're playing 5 city nation, then I would have 1 air base, 1 naval base, 1 city for air, 1 city for naval units, and then I would have the other 3 for ground units. And similar thing for a 6 city nation, and then in 7 just have 4 cities with ground units. Once you've built the arms industry, once you've built the military base, you want to build an arms industry next to this. By building arms industries, you're going to massively improve your economy. You know, resource production plus 20%, and then plus 30, and then plus 50. You know, having a good economy is super important, because if you don't have a good economy, you can't build more units, and you won't be able to dominate your games. So yeah, I massively recommend you do that. If you guys want to see how your economy is compared to other nations, just go to newspaper. On day 3, if you go down, you should be able here to see where your economy ranks in the list. But yes, every 3 days, so day 3, day 6, day 9, you'll be able to see, and you'll see like your rank and how many tons you're producing every single day. But anyways, once I've built arms industries in every one of these cities, I'm going to start thinking about what ground units I want to build, as these army bases are mostly for ground units. So for example, I want to build infantry, so I'm going to start researching that. Okay, as you guys can see, I'm out of rare materials, so I'm just going to buy some more. I just do this by going to market. Don't worry too much about spending money in the early game. If you conquer lands and do well, you don't have to worry about this later on. But anyways, now I can now research infantry. I'm going to start researching infantry. We'll just wait for that to finish. Cool, anyways, my infantry has been researched, and now we can just build this in our 4 cities. For now, I'm just going to build infantry. Some people build tanks. Please do not do this. At least in the early game, tanks are not worth it. Maybe in the late game, if you're an experienced player and you're going against MRLs or, you know, special forces, then anti-tanks can be worth it. But 90% of the time, you should not build tanks. They are normally a unit you see beginners using. So just keep that in mind. You guys might be asking why I like to have 4 cities dedicated to army. That's because I normally like to have a 4-unit build, which in my opinion are the top 4 ground units in this game, which is infantry, radars, mobile SAM launchers, and multiple rocket launchers. So if I have 4, and say I upgrade this one later on to an army base level 4, and let's say later I upgrade this to a level 4 for multiple rocket launchers, and I upgrade this one later on to level 3 for mobile SAM launchers, and I upgrade this one later to level 2 for mobile raiders, and then I just keep spamming infantry in this city, and I can build all my units every single day, and then just stack them in Paris and make different stacks. But you know, I won't be worrying about these units until, you know, at least day 10, and then you can start researching raiders and SAMs. But yeah, SAMs are massively important. You don't have to worry about air force or helicopters as you're building air superiority fighters. But yeah, just in the later game, I like to build SAMs because sometimes people spam a lot of planes, and you know, you don't really want to sacrifice your air superiority fighters, so I just like to have a bunch of SAMs there. And you'll see a lot of experienced players also using SAMs. Once my naval boats are done producing, so I'm just gonna go start building these. Yeah, I need to wait for the arms industry, but anyways, I need 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're gonna we're gonna build 4. Alright, now that I'm done building all this stuff, I'm gonna look for these province centers. Now look, if you guys see a province with an icon here, it means that province produces resources. This province, for example in Quimper, produces electronics, 91 every day. But now this very good as France is very low on electronics. I'm just gonna build a local industry here. Now what do local industries do? They basically provide more resource production, 50%, 75, 100. So these are massively worth upgrading, especially for level 1. So I'm just gonna go ahead and build these in every single province that has a resource icon for it. If you want to confirm if it produces resources, just check down here. For example, a province that's not producing one of these 5 resources, just build this in every single province you have that has those badges. So for example, I'm building it here in Talbers. But anyways, as you guys can see, I've now done this in Quimper, in Talbes, and in every single province, and also don't miss, those isolated provinces that you don't see all the time. But anyways, that's my whole economy setup for the first days. I'm gonna have a massive economy boost based on this, at least in the long term, obviously not in the short term. Now let's go into the diplomacy side of the game and who you should go to war with, etc. So as you guys can see, UK already declared war on me in the first 10 minutes. He's attacking me with his plane. Okay, that's interesting. First of all, you should not attack units with an air superiority fighter unless they have very little health or you're trying to win a crucial battle. Air superiority fighters are for killing planes, not infantry. But anyways, I still want to defend these units, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my plane and I'm going to put it to patrol here. Now when it patrols and it sees an enemy plane go in here, this plane is automatically going to engage our UK's plane, so that is great. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to fortify some of my troops Calais, because it's very likely to attack me there. And also by patrolling my plane over Calais, that also tells me if I'll be able to see if any British units are coming around here to attack me. If I was like, say, a one border nation, I would send all my units to defend. But I can't do this because I've got France, Italy and Germany all next to me. So, unfortunately, I can't really do this. I want these cities protected because, I might get invaded as France from all borders. So, yeah, just keep that in mind and see what other nations you have. But anyways, what we're going to do in the early game is just pure defense. You don't want to attack. It's just going to win your KD ratio. You do want to counter attack if you get attacked, but you just don't want to attack. You don't want to attack first, if that makes sense. So, anyways, this guy clearly wants war, so we're going to send units to defend ourselves, and we want to make sure we are defending. This is very important. When you're defending, you deal more defense damage than when you're attacking, especially if you have infantry, and everyone has infantry at the start of the game. Yeah, so that means first I deal more damage, and secondly your opponent deals less damage. Okay, so it's a it's a two-side win for you. So it's very important. I don't want to go to London. Yeah, no, I don't want to attack here. I want to keep my units here on the defense to get the defense bonuses, and then when I destroy his units that come from London, I can invade London myself because he won't have any units, and that way I don't lose Calais and I don't lose all the health in my unit. So that is very important. And also another tip in this case, if you have coastal waters, is you patrol all around here. If you find any units going on transport boats, then send your plane against them. You won't take any damage as they are on the sea. Keep in mind if you do find that. If you're trying to find these units, just click patrol and you'll see them pop up if they're in the sea. But anyways, as I'm in Europe and I've got lots of neighbors, I really want to make allies. Always I'm going to lose this game, or I might lose this game, as I might get 5v1 from every border, and that's pretty hard to beat unless you get a bit lucky or you have a credit card. But in this case, we can't rely on any of those. So what I'm going to do is, firstly, I'm going to create a coalition. It doesn't matter what you name the coalition or anything. Just go here, create coalition, and I'm just going to do a quick one. I like the name I Go Nukes because it basically scares everyone away and it makes everyone think I'm gonna nuke them. So actually, decreases the chances of attacking me, and then I get people messages saying like, oh, are you a golder? Are you a golder? And I just keep quiet, and then those guys just start teaming up with me and try and be on my side because they're scared that I'll nuke them. But anyways, that's just something that I do. But if you guys want to imitate it, then feel free to do it. But I put here create coalition, and now I'm gonna message my allies on Discord. As I'm playing with two real people here. In this case, it's It's Norway and Finland. Okay, so anyways, I just told my collation name. They can easily find it here by going here and just searching for a collation that says I go nukes. Then they go to details, apply, and as soon as they apply, I can accept them. But anyways, this is quite good as I now have, you know, some allies. I'm also going to do, as that's 3 people, I want to get an ally close to me. But anyways, that's only 3 people in our collation. We can have 5. So for that, we're going to message other people. Well, I think we've already received 4 messages actually. I think one is from Italy, one is from Germany, and one is from Romania. Okay, the Spain one I sent myself. Okay, so first of all, I want to look at how good these players are. If you team up with good players, you're more likely to win this game, as firstly, they're better players, and secondly, they are less likely to go inactive on you. So, you know, if you always find your teammates are going inactive on you like after 10 days, you might just want to look for more experienced players in the game. They're less likely to go inactive. They can do, but they're less likely to. But anyways, so first we have Germany. So Germany is rank 20. Okay, I mean, he's a beginner, but he's not that much of a beginner. Then we have Italy. Okay, rank 22, same thing. And we've got Romania. Okay, 125. Okay, so he's a bit better. So they messaged me, so I said thanks, but unfortunately these guys are already in a full coalition. Yep, Germany, Italy, Poland, United Kingdom, Romania, and all these guys, well, except for Poland, they all border me, unfortunately. So that means I'm probably gonna get attacked on all these 3 fronts, which is not good. So I want to find other allies ASAP. So I messaged Spain. I don't care if he's a good player or not. I just really need help at this point if I'm gonna get 3v1'd. Oh, and also another thing that will tell you if a player is actually good or not, and it's actually more important than rank, is the KD ratio. Now, unfortunately, you can't see this on PC. It's only a mobile thing, but you can just put up your phone and just search the country. Say for example I search up myself, then you have KD appear. Now what KD is how many units you destroy per how many units you lose. For example, if I've destroyed 100 units and I've lost 10, my KD is 10. A good KD tends to be over 1.0. So if you have a player with over 1.0, he's a bit decent. Over 2.0, he's good at the game. And over 3.0, he's super experienced and super good at the game, especially if he has a high rank. And then you've got insane numbers like 10 or 20. These people, if they're high rank, they normally tend to be golders, or just people that 24/7 and don't sleep on the game. And those are the kind of players that you want to look for and team up with. But in this case, we're in a desperate position, so I'm just going to message Spain and any near neighbors that can help me fight Germany, Italy, and the UK. But in this, we can't do anything. We tried messaging Spain. Hopefully he will reply and help us, although he doesn't seem to be too active, as he hasn't built anything. But anyways, that's the diplomacy part of the game. If I was to start this game again and I wasn't recording, I would have joined this coalition way earlier, not because of the best players, but because they are all my neighbors, and instead of being 5v1, I would be in this team 5v1 other people. And if they do go inactive in the future, I can just leave. But yeah, normally when I start new games, I just like to search up for the coalition. That's the most players near me, and I just apply, and they tend to accept you 90% of the time. But yeah, in this case I can't, because I'm playing with some people in Discord, so that is not the case with this game. But anyways, we gotta do what we gotta do. So as you guys can see, UK is attacking me. He was on transport of his naval units, so we sent our plane to attack them, as our plane doesn't take any damage if the units are at sea, so it's a high return on investment. And he's already landing 2 units here. So firstly, we've got the artillery attacking, fire control aggressive, so it attacks. If you don't have security cancel, just manually attack it. Best thing you can do. But yeah, I'm going to attack him with my plane as well while he's disembarking, because while he's disembarking he takes more damage. If he's already disembarked, then I probably would keep my plane and save it to keep it alive for future wars against probably Germany or Italy. Another thing I did that I would like to emphasize is I sent my 2 units from Nevers to Marseille and Strasbourg. The reason for this, I don't know, if I've got more units defending Strasbourg and Marseille, I'll be dealing more defense damage, as I'll have more infantry and hence more defense. And also that means and by sending more units to Marseille and Strasbourg, that means I'll have more defense damage, as I'll have more 2 troops, and these cities are more likely to get attacked than Nevers. And also it's better to stack your infantry than it is to leave them out by 1, because if you leave them out by 1, you're gonna deal little defense damage and you're gonna get attacked way more. Anyways, as we can see in this front, we already cleared one of his infantry without losing any units by just using my artillery infantry and my plane and, you know, bombing it while it was on the ground. So that was extremely effective. And now we're just using my air superiority fighter to finish him off. But anyways, since he's on land now, I don't want to do that. I want to use it against his artillery and get rid of that before it starts to be active. But yeah, look at this guy. This guy built combat outposts in every single province. I mean, he just wasted all his resources. But yeah, never do this, guys. But yeah, anyways, so that is my strategy. Also at day 3, I really like to research this plane and, you know, the Don Island Tide Wolf, as I mentioned before, and the submarine officer. I like to build those and yeah, just keep spamming infantry. And then when I successfully defend the UK, I will go on the counter aggressive and I'll invade him, as then I have my strike fighters and officers ready to attack, and I'll lose little to no units if I'm, you know, attacking him with strike fighters. So that also boosts my KD ratio, and then I can leave my units defending against these nations here. And I can also tell Sweden and Norway to help me, you know, invade Germany later on if needed. Alright, so now we're in day 4. I want to show you how it's going so far. So basically, we went on the defensive the last couple of days against the UK, and we beat all his units in Calais and in Nantes. And now we just went on the offensive, now that we have our planes, and we just basically cleared every city he has. And yeah, now, you know, I barely lost any units, and I just invaded the whole of the UK just based on this strategy. And also, I've got my officer here and my patrol boats in every naval city except for Marseille yet. And also, I got Spain on my side, so that makes Germany and Italy less likely to attack me. And now I'm also about to build my air superiority fighters for the next stage. But yeah, if you get this stage, especially if you're playing Europe and you get this right the first stage, you have a good, very good start, especially in your economy and with your diplomacy. So yeah, just keep this up and just keep invading and expanding, and you guys should be able to win your game like this. Also, if you guys just want any advice, just feel free to join the Discord. The link will be in the description, and just tag me there and I will give you personalized advice. But yeah, anyways, this will be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe, and if you want more videos like this or you have any ideas for videos, then just let me know in the comments.